Roger Smith.
How'd you know that?
I played with him. Done a gig with him, yeah, back in Cleveland.
Oh. Okay.
What's it called again? It's his line dance song. Forgot what
Off the
called.
Hook.
Off the Hook. Yes. Yeah, he plays with Tower Power right now.
Mm-hmm.
Many years.
Okay. All right, we are live. And welcome to the green room. Finally,
we made it.
Pulizzi, we made it. Woohoo!
Yes. Yeah. Hey, man, I'm excited. I've come a long way to try to get this going, and we're going to do it tonight, man.
Yeah. All right. So I interviewed Roger.
Yeah.
Roger Smith, and I played some of his tunes. I've unofficially made this song my theme song, and I'm playing it, and you go, oh, that's Roger Smith. Nobody else knows who it is. I'm like, what? And you played with Roger Smith.
Yes, back when I was in Cleveland, when we had many people coming in when we were opening up. When I was in bands in Cleveland, we would open up for Wayman Tisdale, or we would open up for the Yellow Jackets, a group that I was with back in Cleveland called Straight to the Point / Hub's Groove, led by Rob Hubbard Jr. We would have all these groups come on in, and Roger Smith was one of them. And we learned all of his songs. And that's his big song, Roger Smith, and he's on the road with Tower Power for many years.
Yeah,
and a great guy.
Oh, he's really cool, because I had him on the show, and he's been with Tower like 22, 23 years or something crazy, and what a great guy.
Yeah, very, very cool. It was really lax. It was great, man.
So before we get going into some of the history, what are you working on? Well, we know that all the work has went away, but you've got some things that you were working on, and what has been your latest thing that you were doing? Let's just get everybody start from right now, and then we'll work backwards.
Well, as of February / March, leading up to the pandemic, I've been working with artists like Rick Braun and doing stuff for him. I just got done doing his latest album, Crossroads, and I completed Dionne Warwick's Christmas project as well too. I was on hers, so those were two big projects that I had coming out of 2019 into 2020, and we had dates. And I was also scheduled to go on the Dave Koz and Friends jazz cruise coming into May and June. But as of that, all those cruises are canceled. Yeah. And we're, left to, we're doing what we can right now. And
I've heard from other people that Dave Koz is a really fun guy to work with.
Dave Koz, the organization is great. He's a great guy, and the people around him, and all the things going into his cornucopia of the music, and a very encouraging person. And I just can't say enough about those guys, Rick and Dave as well.
Well, let me ask you, because there's another guy that I had on the show, Mel Brown. Have you ever run into Mel Brown, the bass player?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've done some work with him as well. In Phoenix,
yeah,
when David Garfield and he would go and set up some gigs in Phoenix, and then we would go there, and then Mel would be there, and we would play the shows there too. He's a very, very good cat. Man.
Oh man,
awesome bass player,
and nice guy. So now this is what I'm thinking all of a sudden. So here are all these really cool, nice guys that I've had on my show, and you know them and have worked with them, and why I find that fascinating is we want to talk a little bit about this. I met you on a gig I hired you on, and you and the Cleveland Jazz Orchestra,
right,
in Cleveland. And when was that? 2000 and what? 2 or?
No, I want to say it was like 2006 or 2007.
Really, it was.
And my friend Rock Weirman, keyboard player, and we met you at the now defunct Cleveland Convention Center.
Yeah,
They bulldozed that place to the ground. They have a new convention center in 2013. I know you were talking about the convention center, and yes, we needed a new convention
right.
center.
So
So it's very nice now.
yeah, that was the thing is at that time on that show, we went in there after having done conventions all over the country in really nice spots, and we go into there, and that convention center was just and I'm glad they bulldozed it down. But the beauty was we met you, and I'll never forget you coming up to me and a couple of the guys that I brought with me from California. Said, "Hey, you think I'd do okay in Los Angeles or in California?" And we're like, "Shit, yeah, man, come on out." So you did. Now here's the thing: is I didn't know that you actually moved, and I was sitting watching TV, and there you were on American Idol.
Oh no, we worked before I was on Idol.
Are you?
I hate to bust your bubbles, but I was telling you, yeah, when we came out. So yeah, you say, yeah, come on out. And at that time, I was going out to the NAMM shows. I was networking, and I met people like you coming into Cleveland.
Yeah.
David Garfield was another one. I also worked with Brian Beller that I met out at NAMM, and then people started requesting me when they came into Cleveland if they needed a guitar player, they needed an extra musician, and I was glad to be that resource. And just going out NAMM and networking, and there was a lot more that I wanted to do. But in Cleveland, I for 15 years I worked there as a working musician. I had my own studio. I taught at a college. I directed a guitar ensemble. I played just about every gig in Cleveland with the musical theaters. I was the house guitarist for Cleveland Playhouse, so all the musicals that came in. I did The Lion King or Spam a lot, or just anything that would come through in Broadway nature. And also the church gigs, or uh, I want to say all occasion, weddings, anything.
Mm-hmm.
And but I want and I was releasing my own projects as well. And the combination of doing, going out to LA, and my cats too. We were all going out every year, and just things were building up when we were talking. It's like, we want to grow. We want to keep on moving more. Well, things came to a head in June of 2009 where my lease was up, and it just came right out of the recession of 2008. And my landlord at the time wanted to sell the house. Well, he wanted to sell the house at an astronomical for the area at that time, for a lot of money. And we just didn't want to do that. But he says, well, you have to be out in 60 days if you don't buy the house. So we were left with the decision. Do we want to move out of this house into another place in Cleveland, or do we just want to just get out and jet? And I think things were lined up, and it was like, God gave me an opportunity to say, let's grow and do more things. And I want to say that I love my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, great area, everywhere around that, because they enabled me to be the person that I am today. And I take those roots with me to wherever I go. And, for these past 11 years, I've been in the Los Angeles area, and I'm still learning. I'm very, very happy that I've been able to, with the contacts and just to play and to hustle and to get to learn to know everything around it. I'm just inspired by all these great musicians. And that's all I could ever ask for. I'm very thankful to people like you as well.
Well, thank you. And
Yes.
you were really busy in Cleveland, and I like Cleveland. I did, and I've met a lot of good, really cool people from Cleveland, and people from Cleveland are really, really supportive of each other. There's something that binds those people together. I must admit, how could you be a Cleveland Browns fan all these years and still be okay with it? Because I mean sort of my point. But now we met though, and then you did American Idol after we met though, correct?
I came out and I had talked to you, and we had done some gigs before I landed the American Idol job. We did a wedding gig, and because I called you, I said, "Hey, man, I'm around." It's like, "Hey, cool, man." And it's like when you had an opening,
Oh, okay.
you
All right. All right.
you
It's
hit me
coming
up.
back to
Yeah.
you. Okay.
And then another gig that we did that you hired me for a solo guitar job. We did
Oh,
that
that's right. That really bizarre Koreatown thing.
Well, you know what? You had that gig and you had weekly people come on in, and I went in and I played. I don't know what else happened
That
after that,
was
but we were
weird.
doing it.
Oh, I remember it, and
Yeah.
he wanted everybody to keep playing, but he didn't want to be. He goes, I'll feed you, but just keep playing because these people are here." It was kind of a strange gig. Now it's all coming back to me. So, but I remember looking up and I think I reached out to you after that though when I saw that you were on American Idol
Right.
because
So go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, just because from that point, from that perspective, I'm thinking, okay, I met him in Cleveland, and I said, yeah, sure, come on out, and okay, it really paid off.
You know what? A lot of things came together when I came out in '09, and it's like I did my best to try to introduce myself and to be the best person to if they needed me for a job, I could do this. Didn't mean all these connections were going to save me for, I mean, one person or this like that. It was a
Right.
combination of every connection. And you know what? I would go on every thing that I would, for, I would say for about 7 months, every night I went out. And at that time we had Cafe Cordial
Oh yeah.
and Cozy's on the same street. So it was a very great networking opportunity in the Valley. You could meet musicians or I mean, I would drive an hour to do another gig here and there, or it could have been the most whack thing, but you wouldn't believe the people that you would meet on these gigs or the connections that you had. And you never know if they need you here or, you're going to be helpful for them. You never know where your connections are going, to. It's just, you got to keep the energy out there and
Right.
develop a presence in the town, and it's like, yeah. And Cleveland, we have our community, and LA, it just takes it to another level because it's a national, worldwide thing too.
It is,
You know,
and kudos to you to come out here, but what you were able to springboard into, and I know you said you had met people at the NAMM show and everything, but for the people that are on your resume now that you toured with Dionne Warwick and Natalie Cole, and now we went through the getting this show, so I'm going to show folks this picture because this is a great shot of Natalie Cole with you standing behind her and that I guess that was in 2013. I think it was, and then this other picture I pulled up. It was you with Gladys Knight,
yes,
and then this other one. I'm just kind of showing these uh, you with Jack Black, you know,
yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
and then this has got to be from American Idol because you're with Scotty McCreery.
Right, he won that year.
He did,
Yes.
and what a great guy. Now, there's one picture that I pulled off, and I think it was from Idol, but I forget the guy's name. But it was just I just put it on because it was a great shot of you playing guitar.
Okay, I can't see it, so I
You
don't know who
can't,
it is.
no.
Okay,
So, but anyway, just trust me, it was there. Then, and then I want to show this picture because uh, in all of my interviews, there are two people, one of two people that show up in a picture, right? So I've got a picture of you, and Dennis Moody is in the picture. You know,
okay,
right? Now, Dennis Moody knows almost everybody I've had on my show. And if he doesn't know them, this other guy named Tom Politzer knows them. And so one of those two guys photobombs my shows. So anyway, so you've done some recording over there. So I know you
right.
know, right? So you're in this circle of all these people, and then the smooth jazz guys, Rick Braun and Dave Koz and David Garfield. So now what I want to know is I want stories. I want stories what it was like doing American Idol and what it's like working with those people. I mean, you've done like Natalie Cole and Dionne Warwick. I mean, you know,
Well, I want to say the key to a lot of things that I get involved in, I like a lot of different kinds of music, or it could be the whole big mosh pit of you know, the the grunge or the rock, and I came from all of that.
mm-hmm.
But I was a big Broadway fan too. I did musical theater when I was in high school. I would do the leads. I loved playing the Music Man. I was fortunate to play the lead in that. So, I love, musical theater or, something like that. And just trying to be diverse. And I get into, I mean, to me, it's like if something doesn't go here, this gig, I have this other kind of thing, or I have this, or it's like, hey, this smooth jazz thing is taken off, or hey, this gospel thing is taken off. Let's do that. And, that gives me an arsenal of tools to work with that, I can able to be employed and I can live out here in a musical atmosphere like Los Angeles, where we're asked to play many styles and we're asked to back major artists up. That's what being in a house guitarist is all about on TV.
Well, let me ask you this too, because when I used you on my gig in Cleveland, we needed a singer, and you are a great singer. Are you hired ever because you are a singing guitar player, or ever just for your singing?
When I'm done these last Dave Koz uh summer horns things,
Mhm.
or like or uh, a cruise or whatever, they say, hey, we need some backup. I can do backup.
Mm,
you know More, I'm working more here as a working guitarist in LA. As far as a studio singer, I may sing on a track here or there, or if it's just gigs, but as far as being out there as a vocalist, I'm pretty much singing a lot of my original stuff, and
mm.
that's what I'm working on right now. But so far in the LA area, I've been primarily as a guitarist and a bassist and vocalist second.
Well, when what was I going to say? The When you said bassist, I got that picture of the track that I was. Do you remember the track I was going to?
Oh yeah, yeah, that the YouTube track that I just made up here in quarantine.
Yeah, I was
That
going to
was
try to play that, and let me see if I can do that.
Yeah, yeah, I'll just talk while you're saying that. That track was a song called "The Great Wall" off of one of my albums I did in Cleveland.
Hmm.
And it's like, okay, how do I learn Final Cut Pro? I'm here at home. So I'm like, all right, let's figure this out. So, I recorded everything in Pro Tools, and I'm like, okay, how do I do this? So I filmed myself on an iPhone playing each of the parts. So that's my bass. And then
Okay.
I just try to make fancy, and I have the Les Paul, the Line 6 Variax, and the Strat, and I'm just trying to, you know, it's just eye candy trying to make it something out of a video. So it's only like a
Right.
minute long. So you can go ahead and play that.
Yeah. All right. So I'm waiting. Of course, we've been battling internet for the last 3 or 4 weeks. As more people do this, and we were joking this afternoon with Walter uh, that the 405 used to be really full. Now it's not, but the internet's really full. This because everybody's at home on the internet. Okay, here it is. I got it. All right, give me a second and do my little switch thing. And sometime when I get really like making a lot of money and got my own big TV studio, I'll have an assistant just, okay, I'll say,
You're
hey,
doing great.
will you roll that up, Julie? Roll that. Okay, so I'm almost there. I'm going to make this full screen and All right, man. Okay, so that was really good. So I want you to know that the video is a little jumpy how this feeds it, but the music, the audio is really good.
Okay, cool. But
And so
people want to
just
see
so
it. People want to see it. They can go up to that YouTube channel, and
yeah, and also they can find it on your website, which I have here, tonypguitar.com.
correct.
So so everybody knows now we went through all this trouble getting to here in order for you to play guitar.
All right.
In order to get this sound. So let's give them, now that we're into your guitar playing, let's play your a little bit of acoustic guitar,
Okay.
and if
Okay.
you don't mind,
No
and
problem.
then I want to hear more stories, or stories about what it was like being on American Idol.
We're gonna do a song here, and I'm gonna turn down the mic so we can get a good direct sound. But the song is off one of my albums called Pleasant View Place, and this is about the childhood place back home in Ohio where my grandparents lived, and that's what this song is about. And I'm gonna send this out to dedication to my uncle Leo J. Groff. He recently just passed away.
Mm. that was beautiful, Tony.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
So, you know what? My picture froze up a little bit. Are you still there? Are you still with me? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I am.
I see what's going on.
Hello.
You,
You there?
if
Am I there?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So someone was asking if that was Dave Cook, but I looked and it was James Durbin in that one picture.
James Durbin, yes, he was the big rock singer, and he's doing great, man. The last 10 years, he's been he's putting out his solo albums. He was able to sing with Quiet Riot for a little bit. Very inspired by Rob Halford of Judas Priest. Just a ton of rock, and it was great playing with him on and I yeah, it was great playing with him on stage. And I want to say maybe it was that I don't know the picture that you're showing, but he was the first contestant I went out on stage and played live. And when I did that, I just had such a rush of adrenaline. It was awesome. Yeah. It was like
Yeah,
great.
right. I- and I'm showing the picture again, and it was cool. And I think uh, they hadn't done. Isn't it then that they just started bringing the people out more to interact? I mean, I think up until then, the band didn't really interact with the acts much.
I think they were trying different things. That was the year that Jimmy Iovine came in,
Mm.
and that was a big turnover. The whole key thing with me coming on into that is when the whole the Jay Leno Conan O'Brien thing, and and then Jay ended up retiring, and then he ended up getting his job back. So what happened was the Idol crew that was there, that was Ricky Minor's band, they went over to the Tonight Show, and then Ray Chu came on in, and then I came in on that entourage.
Mm.
And I think they were just trying some different things in season 10. I was very fortunate to get the opportunity to play with all the young artists, and to me it was a great experience because they are beginning their career, and they're also looking to you for help as well. So I mean, in a way, it was kind of like I was back at Cuyahoga Community College, helping these kids out, or
Right.
they were saying this and saying that. It was just a very encouraging experience. I would have to say that being the house guitarist for Idol is one of the greatest experiences I've ever had, and I loved all the people that I worked with.
And the band was really good too. I mean, the
Yeah,
band was killing.
yes, yeah. The portion of that band, big portion of that with was Ray Chu and the crew, and they had done the Showtime at the Apollo, and great players like
Mm.
Artie Reynolds. He's their go-to guy. Russell Graham, who now works for Nile Rodgers of Chic, he was
Mm.
in that band. So I got thrown in with those cats, and we became fast friends immediately. And it was awesome, man. It was
Yeah.
completely great, but a lot of hard work. We had a lot of chart reading. Every week we had we had about 10 to 11 different songs, and they're making up the arrangements, and then we got to learn them. And if I have to go out on stage, maybe I might have less than 24 hours to memorize that certain thing
Mm.
and then get out there. That's what's being called on for those kinds of things.
Now,
My other friends in town that have done it too, we all go through the same thing, but we try to be the best players, and at that we can be, to get into those climates, because you
and
don't know what you're going to run on into.
right, because there's a lot of different music performed in a lot of different styles, and along with that, what I think a lot of people don't think about is not only are you rehearsing the shows, but you're recording a ton of music along with that to match different interviews and different things and different releases of things. So you're in the studio, you're rehearsing, you're doing the live show. I mean, how much studio recording did you need to do for those while you were there?
When we when we were in there, we were inundated with Jimmy Iovine, so he brought in a lot of different producers. I was very, very fortunate to work with Rodney Jerkins, Ron Fair, Don Was, and
Mm,
I may have been on like a country track or like a straight rock and roll track or whatever, and they brought in some of those other guys too. But as far as the live situation, we were the live band. So, and then we were faithful to those different kind of arrangements that we would play live on the
mm.
show. And it was just great to work with all those producers as well. And Ray, he was right in there with them producing these tracks.
Wow. Okay. So this is one question. And when the acts come in, these kids come in and they stand in front of the band and they go, I kind of want to do it this way. How how much of the chart is their input, and do they just sit with maybe the MD or somebody before they get the band in there to work out an arrangement?
I think they would take their strengths and they would say, okay, we're going to do a song like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ray would come up with an idea and then he would make the arrangement what it would be. And then we would take it from there, you know.
Mm,
And, I mean, on a show like that, these contestants, it's like they're going to try to push them into the situation where they're going to deliver the best of what they can do, their most
yeah.
positive ability of what they can do.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a give and take situation. Even if an artist gets signs, they may not want to do what they're doing and stuff like that. But if this is the best thing for their career, they want to build upon that.
Right.
And with they like a one person may want to be a jazz artist. One person was Scotty. He was the country guy. James was the rock. So they would take those ideas and they would expand upon them to make them the best artists that they can be. And then we were, Ray, and it was our job to make that happen for them.
Right. So, did you get to meet any of the judges? And wasn't Randy Jackson still on the show then?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Did,
Randy. It's like one of the excerpts. I was sitting, and it's like I was listening to Ray. I had my in ear. He said, Tony, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this thing with Scotty. And it's like we go to a break, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I remember this. Yeah, we're gonna go. And all of a sudden, hey man, I look up, it's Randy. He says, hey man, having a good time? I'm like, yeah, man. Let me just listen to this. I'll talk to you later. So they made it really easy, and Steven Tyler as well, just a good cat. And then we did some excerpts with him as well. Whether it be he would come on and sing "Walk This Way." So, I was extremely fortunate to play with him as well. Jack Black, another one.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Those you don't get any bigger than those. Randy Jackson in the musical world and Steven Tyler in the rock world. Come on. That's pretty cool. So what was it like to work with Natalie Cole and Dionne Warwick? What were those gigs like?
I want to say, after we did the stints with Idol, and then I was able to go on the road with Natalie, a lot of things came full circle for me. She was so professional, and I was on the road with her for 4 years,
Mm,
and up to the when she passed, and I I just it was just a great experience. She was very encouraging. She just let me be me. And she gave the morale that she want our whole band, we wanted to perform for her, and just all the experiences that we had. I was able to perform the Hollywood Bowl with her, the Greek, all
mm.
over the world. She was even very, very encouraging when we would go over to Japan. She says, all right, get y'all CDs. I'm like, what? And she would let us sell our own music, in Japan. So it was great. I was like, and then we would play some of my originals before, or it's like, like one other guy had an original and then I had original. And then we would open up the show. We might do two of them like that, but just for her to give us the opportunity to play our own songs on her show. Come on. So it's just very encouraging. We were going to do some work too, some writing together, but it wasn't meant to be. But
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I had that experience,
That's
and
so
just the treasure and the story she told about her father, and may she rest in peace. And also her son Robbie, who died not long after that. He
oh,
played percussion with her. He was 37 years old.
oh.
So it's just but I'm glad I had these experiences. These kinds of things are what count for me, that and I'm able to experience this music and to play with these people, but also get to know them as people as
Mm.
well.
Yeah, so I've been learning that, and some of those kinds of stars are sort of aloof and don't really want to hang out with the band, and they'll just come in and do the rehearsal and then go off by themselves. But she wasn't that way. She hung out with the band quite a bit. Is that right?
She always hung out with the band.
Wow.
Dionne, when I worked with her, she was in, and when we did this, the album, she was in there playing, watching us playing every note, hanging with us until she heard every note that went down. Gladys the same way. And it was just awesome. They would hang with the band. You get to know them as people, but not many people are that fortunate. I've had a lot of very good experiences. I'm very happy. Some people are not that fortunate.
From my perspective, and I know you as a jazz musician too, we grow up as jazz musicians and that sort of thing, and we're thinking about Nat King Cole, and then you go and you work with Natalie, and you think about them more in this musical sense, and I'm sure when she would sit and tell us that was what I would always enjoy, being around people when they tell stories about their dad or something they did. And do you remember anything in particular that sort of stood out, of any kind of story she told about her and her dad?
Well, she was when she went to school here in LA, and then she went away for a little bit, and I don't know if she was definitely thinking about really doing it for. I'm trying to remember what that whole thing was in, but I do want to say that when they were wanting her to do the Unforgettable album,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a hesitation of not trying to do that, but it was David Foster's thing. You say, no, we need to do this. And then that was just a moment in her career that it just skyrocketed and catapulted it. But not only that we do these things, I mean, that's a big part of the show where, a scrim comes down and then she's singing with her father, Unforgettable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we do all of her hits of the 70s though, as well,
Oh,
Pink Cadillac, or, time,
this will be.
this will be, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
We
love all
doing
those
all that
things.
stuff.
So,
Yeah.
as a musician, I mean, I'm starting to think about what it would feel like being there. And what did it feel like when you first did the gig with her and Dionne? And did you ever kind of pinch me? I'm actually here.
Well, I want to say this. I had, they gave me the book about 120 songs,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a set songs that I had to learn, but they were all charted out. And so when I approached Natalie's job at first, it was kind of like a symphony gig, and she
Mm.
has different, different, formats of her show. It's a small group show, or a big band show, or a full orchestra. So
Mm.
I may have to play nylon string with the orchestra, or I have to play just regular jazz guitar. So it was, there was a lot of variety to it.
And when you traveled, did you travel with a basic core group, or did you take a lot of people with you when you traveled?
No, she had a core group. The drummer at the time when I was playing with, his name is Rob Miller,
Mm.
and he's now on the road with Kamasi Washington.
Mm.
I don't know if you heard of that. He's a new name coming on up,
Mm.
and a great bassist, Edwin Livingston,
Mm.
and also a great keyboard player named Alessandro Alessandroni, and he is the MD for Paul Stanley's
Okay.
Soul Station project. So I know I threw a lot of things out there, but I'm just telling you the caliber of the
Right.
musicians that I'm playing with. Also, I got to give a shout out to Josh Nelson too. Awesome, awesome piano player. that was with us, and Gail Driedrich as the MD. And
Man.
so yeah, it was our job to bring it every night. But that's the band. Yeah.
Okay, so already, so I'm thinking just those three names, Natalie, Dionne Warwick, and Gladys Knight. What others that I didn't look at the entire, all of the breadth of your work, but who else did you work with that was notable? And what kind of session work did you do that was outside of everything else that we've already been talking about?
Okay, I wanted to say going on the road, I would play on with Natalie. I would play a 335. I would take the
Mm.
335 on the road and also have a nylon string. I don't know if you asked that question, but that's what I would take on the road with that. The other question is the other artists that I play with. I'm very, very, very fortunate to have the rare opportunity to play backup guitar for George Benson.
Mm.
And that was through the situation where his great guitarist of many, many years, Michael O'Neill, had to go on the road with Barbra Streisand, and so therefore they brought me on in, and that's another. I got to learn singing. I got to sing all the backgrounds,
Oh,
and
cool.
I had done some studio work for George with vocals as well on guitar before that. So I was kind of like inundated with what was going on, but they sent me the tracks, while Michael is, doing his thing with that. I mean, that was like Streisand went back on the road and, he was obligated to that. So they brought me in to do a series of shows with George. And that was just awesome, man.
Oh, man. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was a kid growing up, I loved listening to all those CTI records
Yeah.
oh, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was very fortunate to play those with them. Take Five or
Yeah.
Octane or Skydive, the stuff he did with Freddie
Oh,
Hubbard. But
yeah.
he will play the hits. Definitely. You're going to hear Give Me the Night. You're going to hear Turn Your Love Around.
And
Yeah. You're going to hear that. He's an entertainer. He's just one of the greatest encouraging guys that I have known too. And he's the musician inspiration for us all.
wow.
And oh yeah, yeah. I was very fortunate. He let me play his breezing guitar. I was there, and
Oh,
I mean, I was like, oh, I can't believe this. But these are the opportunities that I wanted to come in fruition. If I would have stayed in Cleveland, I wouldn't have had these opportunities.
right,
Many opportunities coming at once.
right,
And I'm not saying I love Cleveland. I love Cleveland, but the opportunity where people are living, if I'm living in LA, people are going to call me in LA. They're not going to
right.
call me if I'm living in Cleveland, or people will get to know me faster if I'm living in the area. Things are just not going to happen for you. You got to go out and get it.
Right, right. Well, I know we're not really talking about guitars. If I were a guitar player, I might be asking you specific guitar questions, but I'm not. I'm a drummer, and I'm fascinated with the people that you've worked with because I'm such a fan of all of those people, right?
So am I. It's guys, hey, man, I'm playing this thing. And
Right.
George get ready to warm up, or
Yeah,
Dionne's gonna sing the song. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm loving this.
right, right. Oh,
Oh yeah.
and so uh Toby Simmons wants to know why you look like you're 20.
You know what? I stay out of trouble, and I don't smoke. I'm drug free, but maybe it's my genes. I don't know, but you know, I don't know,
Well,
but I'm saying I stay out of trouble. And like I said, I think I told you the other day, I have a 15-year-old, been married, for a long time,
tw
21 years.
21 years.
Yes. Yeah. So, I'm trying to keep this business going, trying to do what I can. My wife, I would have never come out here and done it if it wasn't for my wife, because
Mm.
she was very supportive of this. And, I'm very fortunate to have that. My son was 4 when I came out to LA, and he does, remember it, man. Now he's a freshman in high school.
I don't, well, and my daughter and your son are going to be both sophomores in high school next year.
Wow,
Yeah,
man. It just, where did the time go?
the only difference is I'm like 30 years older than you.
No, you're not. Hey, man, we're just getting started. We're just getting started.
Yeah. So now you you did some other session playing? Is there any recording or anything that you did that isn't affiliated with anybody that we've talked about so far?
Well, like I said, like Rick Braun.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about the projects I was on this year. Rick Braun, Crossroads, and many people are on that. You know, Philip Sass, Marcus Miller, Greg Bissonette.
Oh,
You know, and I was very, very fortunate to be on that. Eric Valentine. I want to say that Dionne's Christmas album. I got to play on a track with Johnny Mathis, and I
oh,
was like, "Oh my gosh, this is great!" You know,
oh,
and this pick it up. I mean, for next year, it's a great album. We got the Oak Ridge Boys on it. I'm trying to think. Oh, Michael McDonald is on it.
oh.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, come on. Is there any more names you can drop?
Yes, and I want to say this. I want to say this. This is one of the most inspiring musicians I have ever met. His name is Robbie Dupree. Awesome
Oh,
player
yeah.
of his great song "Steal Away"
Yeah.
and "Hot Rod Hearts." And I'm in his band as well too. We've had our gigs canceled. Not only
Right.
Rick's or Dave Kaz's crews, but I had a series of gigs I had with Robbie Dupree, and he's a true artist in every sense. And I was fortunate to play on his last 2 tracks. If you want to pull them up on Spotify or go support him, the songs are called "Ordinary Day" and "Audio Graffiti." And I'm playing with the original band who played on the first album. I was able to come into this project because the original guitarist Brian May, he's now working with Paul McCartney, and he's not able to do a lot of these gigs that these guys want to do. So there was one, I want to say, we were on a gig with David Garfield, and we were playing, and the whole group comes on in,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, and I met Robbie that day, and he heard me play, and then I get a call at like 1:00 in the morning. He says, "Hey Tony, you want to do this gig?" I'm like, "Wait, what's going on here?" So that it's great, and that was a start of a great experience for me. And I also want to say that David Garfield, dude, I love you, bro. He is a musician's musician, and he has his project called Outside the Box. He has everybody and anybody you'd think of on his music projects, and I'm on a track with him on his one album with Steve Jordan, and also Marcus Miller, and I'm also on a track with the late Chuck Loeb, rest his peace. And these are all on David's songs. So you want to check out David Garfield, Outside the Box, all kinds of stuff on there.
So I just want to play this for a second.
Sure.
Is this you playing guitar?
Yes, sir. And that's Rob Monsey, his arrangement. He does all the Steely Dan arrangements of the classic albums.
Wow.
Yeah, that's him. That's his string arrangement.
On the streets where life is cheap and kids don't have enough to eat, this is no place for second chances.
Wow.
This is one of the best tracks I've ever done in my
Man
life.
fights to keep his pride, and a rich man's never satisfied. Don't believe that that's the way God planned it. Well, it's a long road from here to understanding. Easy to look away and walk on by like it's just another ordinary day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just
awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's the guy. We got to steal away.
Hey.
I mean, come on.
but it's gotten legs again with the whole yacht rock movement. And I mean, he plays with that major band too. They've been getting a lot of traction, the Yacht Rock Review. So he will go up there and they will play the original songs and he sings them. Or, whoever, if they'll do Stephen Bishop's song or Steve's in Town,
Right.
he'll do that, or, and also the situations with the new stuff, or I want to say that the Steal Away, that's in Better Call Saul now. They picked it up, so they're playing it. So
Right. man. I mean, that's great. That doesn't sound like anything that I would ever think Robbie Dupree would sing.
Oh no, I think some of the stuff he's doing now is like he's pumping out the best stuff of his career. So we got more stuff on the horizon. Yeah, much more of that to come. But the two songs, you guys want to check out that song that you just heard, Ordinary Day, and then also Audio Graffiti. And there's also a video to that also as well.
Yeah. So somebody said, what's this called again? Again, you just said Ordinary Day by Robbie Dupree.
Right.
And that's what we just played. And then what was the other one?
Audio Graffiti.
Audio Graffiti. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's also a video for that as well.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, you can go to my site, you can find the video.
That's so cool. So I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking way back to that one day when I met you. Can I tell you a little story? And I think it's really interesting. So, I do those nurses gigs that I'd done for, 25 years or so until this last year. And I tried hiring a band in Cleveland. And I couldn't find anybody. And I finally called this guy, and he goes, yeah, I got just the band. He goes, and I'll get all the guys, and we'll get together. And I said, okay, I'll bring all the music. We'll do a rehearsal. About a month before the gig came, I had them all set to do. The month before the gig, he called me, said, hey, don't bring your charts. I'll just take care of it. I'll take care of the charts. And I went, no, that isn't. No, I'm bringing their music to play. And he goes, no, we don't need that. I'll just take care of. And I ended up having to say, I'm sorry, I can't use you. And then this was like 30 days out. Now I'm scrambling and I'm calling all around, and somebody said, call the Cleveland Jazz Orchestra. And then I find out all you guys show up, and half of the band was from like everywhere but Cleveland. There was only.
I know. Yeah. Well, no, the core of them, they will be in the Cleveland. I'm trying to think. Some of them came from Columbus, or some of them came from Detroit, and they will come in and just like the Columbus Jazz Orchestra, because they know who they like to play with, and they'll come on in and they'll play it. And that's when I got the call. I'm like, all right, Rock called me. Say, all right, we're gonna do this, and that's when I met you. Right,
but the highlight of the band was you and your singing, being able to cover all the rock tunes and stuff, and the drummer. I forget his name, but he was.
I'm trying to remember who was on the gig.
Phenomenal. I can't even remember.
Well, that's another thing too. Like I was very fortunate to be in the wedding bands, and when I grew up in rock, and I learned all the songs, Twist and Shout, or The Power of Love, or whatever the song was out at the time, or Led Zeppelin. So it's like, but when I entered, when I started playing with, casual bands, I needed to learn all time rock and roll. I needed to learn, Moon Dance or stuff like that. So, I was like, all right, I know what Jeff needs. I'm going to bring my songs, and we're going to get through this night. My goal is, if I have not met you or worked with somebody, my goal is to make it as easy as possible for you, because that's what you're up against. The last thing that you need is problems from me. My job is to make your job go well. And that's the same thing with Dave Koz. When I subbed for him, I learned this, I play this. I don't want to have these people tell me that this or that. I want to make sure it's perfect when it goes down. And that's the truth.
And you did. So
thanks.
I'll give you one example of the opposite of that. I was doing this in Denver, and I had a guitar player that could sing, and he was kind of calling tunes. I was up there trying to help. Nobody's really doing anything. And I said, maybe it would be best, since you know the songs, can you just tell the guys the songs and just sort of go with it. And so I don't have to direct the band, because why should I tell them, have you tell me and I'll tell them? And he goes, well, that's going to cost more money. And I'm like,
I don't think of it like that. Look, okay, but you're already paying you money there.
I know.
So it's like, but I knew, but see, when I came into this situation, Rock's a friend of mine. Mark Gonders. I mean, I'm talking about people from Cleveland that I play with. So we're doing these things all the time. And it's like, I mean, I just knew what the job calls for. People have to know what the job calls for before they enter the situation.
Right.
It's like, if I'm playing with who, it's like, it doesn't matter. I want to make sure that I know this situation. If you don't go, if you can't do the job.
It was the weirdest thing, because he knew all the guys, and he could just call the tune and everybody would just go, but he was waiting for me to figure out what he knew. It was, so anyway, he wasn't very easy about it. And I would have been happy if he would have said sure, and then afterwards come up and said, hey, can you give me a better taste? And I would have said, sure, you bailed me out or made it easy on me. But no,
there's a way to go about it.
Right. So from that perspective, Tony, you are really, really easy to deal with.
Hey, thank you, man. That's what keeps me going. But at the same time, it's like, though, I am patient. And it's like, I understand that we're all trying to achieve the same goal. So let's, we have to leave the egos out the door. It's like, we're here to get a goal. Let's do this. This cat's doing this, because maybe in a way that you as a leader, you need me more than I need you, because your name is on the line. And then that's just, if we don't do a good job for you, then it just keeps on going down. That's not the right way. That's not the right attitude. And that I will take that, even with, the companies I deal with out here, they're there. You are representing people. They are paying you a paycheck.
Right. At the same time, though, from the musician's point, from me who pays music, and I'm thinking this is probably why you get a lot of work and why band leaders like you. But from a band leader's perspective, or somebody who's paying somebody, if you're also representing me, and if you do a good job of it, it's in my best interest to make sure you're happy, because you are representing me. So, it's take care of you too, and not try to chintz you on money or anything, or how some of the offices might do. And so, but the people that you've been working with, though, it seems like you just keep attracting to yourself these really nice, great situations where people are easy to work with. And that's a beautiful thing. And I think it just represents the kind of person you are, because that's what you're attracting to you.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I just want to say that, my teacher, and I went to Bowling Green State University until 20 miles south of Toledo. That was my guitar group program that I came out of. And my teacher, Chris Bazzelli, these are the two things. He says, reputation and recommendation, that builds a career. And I'm like, I thought to myself, I was little, and I was like, man, that's right, man. If like people think that I'm a good to play with, I'm like, yeah, that's good. It's like, and then that will build upon recommendation. I'll get more work out of this. So I've tried to make that, a credo of mine, and that'll, that, and all the great artists I play with, I try to be, the leader of myself. I try to learn from others so that I can build upon it. Just how Natalie was a great band leader, how Robbie's a great band leader, David Garfield, etc. Right. I try to put that all in my arsenal for all my projects, and how we're, cooped up in here and during quarantine. That's what I'm working on,
Right.
So.
and from a week ago when we were stumbling around, you're all ready to start doing your little concert series from your home there now.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm ready. Yeah. It's like, Tony, you got to get this. You got to get that. I'm like, all right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to start doing those things. I'm going to start singing. Good. I'm going to start doing that. And, with the studio stuff, I'm determined to get it out. When Natalie passed away, that was the thing, because I had my, I was doing the road gigs and doing that. But when she passed away, things changed for me. So I'm like, you know what? I got to start recording again. So I went back in with the Natalie Cole group. I recorded about 25 songs, and these are vocal and high energy music. and I'm working on those as well. I also have um, to me, it's a very, very important concert that I have filmed, and I remixed the audio. As a matter of fact, a great engineer, Howie Lindemann, and he's from Bat Out of Hell fame, and John Lennon and Roberta Flack. He's taken upon it to remix all this, and it's going to be out for video. There's some things that you can see on YouTube of this concert, but I have a whole hour of concert that I'm restoring. So that's another thing that I'm doing, and that's with my Cleveland band.
Okay. And will information about that be on your website?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it will be there. Yeah,
And
it's
your
called
web
Live at that project will be called Live at the Crooked River Groove. That's the TV show we had at the college that I
the,
taught at.
the
So,
Crooked
the
River Groove.
Crooked River Groove, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
And one more.
yeah.
Then I have another project. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff. So, but
Oh, that's
I'm going to get it out there. I'm going to do this.
please.
I have a project with David Garfield. Steve Ferrone plays drums from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers,
Yeah.
Average White Band. Alex Lizardwood and John Pena. So I have a project with them as well. And just a lot of things to work on, But yeah, all that stuff can be on TonyPGuitar.com. You'll see that, or if you see my Facebook, you'll get all the links. You'll know what's going on.
So I got to tell you, my goal and purpose when I started doing all of these interviews, this is my 9th week, was to put a spotlight on all of the gigging workers, the musicians that nobody really knows who they are. They might know Dave Koz, they know Natalie Cole, they might know all that, but what about all of the people that work for those artists? And they're the gigging workers. There are the people like you, like Walter Rodriguez that I had on this afternoon, the guys that nobody really knows who they are. And now we've sat here for an hour and you've had this brilliant career so far. And nobody goes, he played with her. He did that. He did that. Yes, we're all the people that are not working right now. We're the gigging community. And that was my idea of doing these. And if anybody wants to know the kind of people that I'm talking about, watch this show. This is the perfect example of the guy that is out there working that everything just stopped.
Yeah, but with that comes an opportunity. Like I'm saying, it's like it's time to record. It's time to build on these skills. It's time to do that. That doesn't mean we're just going to sit and wait till the bars open again.
Well,
that's not going to happen. And oh, a few guys like that.
You guys, they're just drinking now.
Yeah. But I'm going to say, but what you're doing right now, and when you called me up, I'm like, yeah, Jeff, I know what he's doing. I'm going to support this. So
thanks.
Thank you for having me on your show. Congrats on this show and the success of it and the future success of it. And, and all the tech things that we're learning, this is awesome.
It is. And so just for those we've had a steady group of people and a lot of comments that I'll go back and answer, but also people watch back. They watch like a week from now, the views will have doubled. And we're going to try to, whenever we need to practice some stuff, I'm calling Tony.
Hey, man. No, it's great because that helps me too.
Right?
It really does.
Okay. So having said that, how do you want to take us out we didn't even get to a lot of stuff, but
I know,
but it was fun what we did.
Hey man, for like the 250th show, you can have me back. We'll keep rapping. We'll do it.
So it is. We've been at an hour. Do you want to play a little thing, play it out, or what do you want to do?
Yeah. Let's play this. And I want to say shout out to Voyage Air Guitar. This is the guitar I'm playing. This guitar actually folds in two.
It folds in two?
It does. Yeah.
What?
Do you want to see it right now, or I'll play and then I'll take it apart.
Okay.
But it's great. It's a great guitar.
Oh, wait, here. Oh, wait.
You still there?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was trying to play my really cool sound effects. Oh, now. Oh, no, that's the wrong one.
Hey!
There we go. So I was looking for my sound effect at the end of that. I wanted to play my cheers. Okay, so how does that thing fold in two?
So right here is the hinge where they have, and they offer, the Voyage Air guitar offers a alternative for folding guitars, and you can go on planes really, quick, and so right here it's got the folding hinge. So if you see that,
Whoa.
so if you see it like that, you see a hinge right there. So, and I can put it right in the thing, and it's just, I can put it right over my back and just easy to carry.
Oh, and you don't have to worry about the neck getting busted.
No, let me put it back together again.
That's that is so cool. Whoa.
Stays in tune. Voyage Air guitar.
I love it.
Yeah. Check those guys out. VoyageAirGuitar.com. And I recorded some of the tracks on Dionne Warwick's Christmas album with this guitar. So if you go to the website, you'll see a whole layout of like the session. You'll see the guitar. It's cool. VoyageAirGuitar.com.
Okay, so I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to play a little bit of music from this. I'm going to play a little bit of this, more of this Robbie Dupree song as I take us out. Thank you, Tony.
Oh, thank you, Jeff, man. Thank you.
All right.
People say it's just a sign of the times. It's a way of life, but that's not really living. Well, it's a long road from here to